16, and this is a video of Total War Rome 2. This is my campaign at Legendary with the Romans, and this is actually the first battle with the official patch 3. Just to inform people which are concerned about all the improvement they're making to the game. So we'll see how well this goes. And I'm being attacked from that direction. And I'm not sure I will be able to win this because there's quite a few enemies, and I only have a couple of Rorari, which are okay in fighting cavalry, but not particularly amazing for other stuff. So we'll see how it goes. Also, this town offers a chance to the enemy to use 2 directions, so they can come from, well, using that path or that path, and we will see how it goes for that. Not sure. They use a lot of Celtic warriors, slingers, spear warrior, so that will be a little tricky for my Rorari to beat them. So I will actually deploy those in square like this. Here I have my javeliner, and I think we're set. So let's see. Now, if they actually charge me with their cavalry first, that will be a very nice thing, because my Rorari are spearmen, so that will serve me well. Other than that, I have a lot of mob or pleb, which are pretty useless, usually in siege. I guess they are good for filling the gaps. So I will bring them closer here. Now this is with the patch 3, so the AI is supposed to be a little smarter than before. And right now, for example, an example of this is that those slingers are actually shooting me from afar, as opposed to rushing in straight into my line, which is a nice thing. Now a couple of Celtic warrior are coming my way. These will be rather dangerous for my Rorari, because they use sword, and the sword is better than the spear. Unfortunately, I'm supported by my javeliner, which might be effective at weakening the enemies. But it seemed that the AI decided to still run through my line. It's just that it might be to intercept my javeliner. I'll hear the cavalry just going through my line here.
The men are wavering.
And here I think I will actually bring my other Rorari unit, which is the general this time, and I will try to attack them in the flank, which might work or not at all. We'll see about that. Now my pleb is getting overwhelmed, same with my skirmisher. The enemy just went through my formations here. A few of them seem to be wavering a little, but that's probably not enough to fix the situation for me. While my skirmisher are panicked, which is a very bad thing. And it seems that my general did panic as well. I'm not sure why. He was actually attacking the enemy in the back, which would have been normally something in his favor. So I guess the enemy simply ignored my troop here, just went through, which seemed to have worked fine for him. So that's nice. I guess that's an improvement, because they fought a little. So that was it for this battle. Let's go back to the campaign now. It was 3 minutes, so that's pretty short. And I only killed 202. mostly swordsmen, so this battle was kind of useless for the grand campaign, because I did not manage to inflict sufficient amount of loss to the enemy. I think the auto battle might have been able to inflict more loss than that. Okay, here there's another battle, so I will do it as well. Oh, I'm actually defending. That's interesting. Or am I defending? Let's hope I am, because that will favor me greatly, and I will be able to get rid of that army for good. I probably could have done this in auto battle, because the balance of power was a lot in my favor, but I decided to do it so that you and I can see the difference with the patch tree in mind. Alright, so where are they? Okay, they will come this way, so that means that I should probably deploy my javeliner over here, like this. Now I will extend a group of velites, since only the first row is firing their javelin usually, and I will keep my other in reserve just in case. Here I have some plebs, I guess that can be useful. Then I have a lot of legionnaires. I even have Praetorian, so that's an army which is probably very fitted to win this battle. I have some cavalry, but in this town I can actually go out over there. So I might actually take advantage of this, because maybe I can go harass the enemy. Only if necessary though, because I'm not sure what kind of enemy army is there. So a lot of slingers, lots of Celtic warrior, lots of cavalry. So that should be interesting. Okay. So let's do this.
We hold these walls today because that is the task the gods have given us. It is a noble task. We will
There's my general somewhere in there.
People have such sons as us.
Okay, there we go. The enemy's coming. My velites are ready as well. Ready and waiting. I suppose I should probably give them the capacity to use flaming shot. That might kill the enemy a little faster. While here I might actually take the opportunity to go out with my cavalry. That might be useful, especially since I don't believe the enemy see them at the moment. And here I'm using mob. I'll actually move them outside just for the fun. I don't really believe in their usefulness in defending this place. While here I will move some legionary unit close to the entry. This way, if the enemy comes by, I will be able to intercept them effectively, hopefully. And behind I have my better units, which are right here. My veteran legionaries. And then if the situation is desperate, I have my Praetorian. Okay. Now why I move my mob outside here, it's mostly because I'm hoping that it might actually disrupt a little the capacity of the enemy to burn the gate. So we'll see about that. I guess that will be a good AI test. Now, I'm not really expecting those plebs to do anything useful, but it will be as useless inside, because I think my legion are pretty much the ones that will do all the job. So if they can disrupt a little the enemy advance, that might be good. Now here my legionnaires are receiving some slinger fire, so I will put my legionnaires in testudo. We'll see also if now that testudo make them a little more resistant resistant to enemy missile fire. And you can see how the missile fire, well, the slingers did switch their target pretty quickly. No, actually they're still firing here. But the slinger is not particularly good against armored units. Okay, so my plan with the pleb did not work too well. So the AI is smart enough to re-engage and attack the gate. But at least that might have prevented them from attacking during a short while. Now there's a lot of enemy cavalry out there, which might be a problem later on. So I will redeploy my legionnaires into square formation here. Well, here the spear warrior are actually just receiving my javelin fire. I'm not sure if it's because of my move or not. Alright. Now the enemy infantry seem to be moving in. Celtic warrior. That will be a pretty intense fight for the gate. I suppose that I should probably move one group of legionnaire in, just to make sure that the small gap here is closed. And I think what I'll do is I'll wait for the enemy to completely enter the area, and then I will engage my cavalry. I will also make sure that my cavalry get rid of the enemy slingers. Like this. Right now is a good moment. So I'm moving my cavalry in while the enemy is zerging in, literally. So while they do that, my cavalry will move in here. And we'll see how good those legionnaires are at defending. There's so many enemies. It's a big horde.
Sons of Mars, orders.
Okay, so I will divide my cavalry attention between the different enemies formation. While here, I think this unit stopped to attack some barrel over there. I don't know. Perhaps they decided to loot their own town. Okay, so it seems that they are pretty much routing now. And that was a victory. So they just rushed in. And all died against my legionnaire. So I killed 1,734 and I lost 179 legionnaire, I suppose. Actually, many of them were velites. So that was a battle pretty much in my favor. And there we go. Let's execute them all so that they never come back. The good thing is that now this army is gone. And okay. Now add us to general. I don't remember which one. Must be one over here. I'm having some attrition. Inspired endeavor. If I defeat an army, what army do I need to defeat? Okay, I'm being invaded over here. So I will have to defeat this army here. But first of all, I think I will just take a peek at my deployment in my empire, because I haven't played that specific campaign in a while. In between the two last episodes, there was like a week without me playing. It was all about waiting to upload and process all the video I recorded. So that means that I'm a little rusty at that specific campaign. So I will just take a good look at what's the situation. And in between those episodes, essentially, I completed the game with two other factions, Teen and the Averni. I beat the game at Legendary, which I did not record because I wanted that to be just for my own enjoyment. And also just processing all that Roman campaign is quite a lot of work. So that's why I did not necessarily
Ready for battle.
Play this campaign here. Okay, so my food is now pretty good, 59. I'm making quite a bit of money, which is not that much. Now, many people are saying that I'm not necessarily having a good economy, but I think a good economy is when you have zero profit. That means you have the perfect balance. You're spending all you need, you're making all the money you need, and then you're fine. You can continue. It's all balanced out. Having a balanced economy is what matters. Also, my approach to this is that I'm expanding, and a lot of the profit I'll make from expansion will finance my empire. Okay, well, that's a pretty big battle, but a lot of the enemy are ships, so I will, for the moment, I will just put that in siege. I will keep that for maybe later in this video. I'm not sure. It depends what are my decisions about it. Now, I also need to do some research, so I'm not sure what I should do specifically. Okay, wealth from industrial. I'm not doing much industrial, even though it creates wealth. The thing is that in this game, making money is not the objective. So the objective is to conquer stuff, or make an alliance or trade agreement. What's this? 20% more shot per minute, but on run speed. That could be interesting, but that's not interesting enough. Reduce the mercenary cost. That can be useful in some condition. And here, increase public happiness, which is fine, so I won't invest in that yet.
Ready for orders.
Now, am I at war with the Averni? Yes, I am at war with the Averni. Now, let's see if I can... no, I won't do that yet. What I need is, I need to go capture that town here. So that will be my next objective for that region.
We hunger for battle.
And then... okay. Now there's a region I need to conquer here. Do I have an army for that? I don't seem to have an army for that. My armies seem busy elsewhere. Okay, but here I can dispose of this invading force here. And I think, yeah, we'll just won't do this one necessarily. Or should I do it? I think that will be a little one-sided. But I will do this battle. And let's go there. So other things which I did in between the last few episodes is that I experimented with Twitch with live broadcasting. So I did publish there or live broadcast a few... well, actually, half of my Averni campaign. Now, sadly, there was only 30 people to watch it, but I'm sure that if you check the different links which I put in the description of my campaign, you might be able to figure out what Twitch is about, and maybe follow me over there if you want. Also, I might actually do some live broadcasting on YouTube, not sure. It might be interesting. I tried that on my Attila Gaming Network channel, which you can also find the link in the description. But there wasn't that many people which watch, so it depends. It would be nice if you told me what kind of hour you would like me to broadcast. This way I could perhaps coordinate myself with my general audience interest. That's something which could be interesting. Now, of course, I cannot promise anything about that, but at least inform me of your constraint. Okay, well, I have a big legion, and I will fight an enemy which I do not see at the moment, because I'm the one attacking. So I will simply move my legionnaire forward, slowly. I said slowly, there we go. So I have my skirmisher on the left side, my cavalry on the rear. Now, to be honest, I did not really think out that strategy. It's like, well, I'm just deploying like that and hoping for the best. But I will adjust myself when the enemy will be revealed. I probably could use my cavalry as a scouting force, which is essentially what they used to be at that time, as well as a support on the flank for the Roman, or any faction most of the time. Okay, so we do have a visual on the enemy over there. So, mercenary Italian cavalry, that's not particularly dangerous. Noble horse, that's a little more dangerous. That's also the general. They have some ballista, which is a dangerous fact, particularly against legionnaires. And I guess what I'll do is I will attract their attention with my cavalry by making a flanking maneuver over there. And that probably won't work. But I'll do it anyway.
The men are wavering.
Wow. That cavalry is not particularly courageous. Or the ballista are a little too accurate, if we look at this. Yeah, essentially the ballista just killed quite a few of my cavalry, which were all spread out. I wonder how they managed that. So forget about the mighty strategy there. I guess the ballista accuracy is too great. Well, here I will actually spread out my legions, because look at that. Yeah, essentially being in a square is a bad idea against ballista. Apparently. Seemed to be an extremely bad idea, actually. But it seems also that my legionnaires are surviving. Go figure out. They must have a pretty thick armor. Okay, here I have a couple of equites, which I plan to make flank around and attack those ballista, because I want to remove the crew from those ballista. Now the enemy mercenary cavalry might engage me though, which will be unfortunate when it comes to attacking a specific unit in the rear, because then you're stuck fighting the enemy. Okay, well here, what am I doing here? A couple of enemy cavalry here. Okay, so I have engaged the first group of crew. I will continue to the second one. Now the thing is that usually the crew never gets back on their ballista, so that's why just engaging them shortly can be a good move.
Yes, Commander.
Okay, and here we have a fight against those mercenary Italian cavalry, which did engage a few of my velites, as well as what are these? very heavy melee infantry, which are first cohort, so it's a good unit normally. So now that we actually did manage to get rid of those annoying oversized ballista, we can now fight the enemy. But here there's something going on. Ah, okay, it's my own troop. Great. So I will now advance toward the enemy. I will group up my legion and I will give them an AI group attacking, which usually seem to give them a proper formation to attack sometime. Although in this case it seemed completely wrong, so I probably shouldn't do that at all. Ignore the AI. Okay, there we go. No testudo, please. It was a bad idea. But I did try it, so... But I think just because the enemy has a missile unit shooting on my troops, they probably will have just kept moving toward the enemy in testudo formation. Which is a fine idea in some contexts, but in this case I don't believe it has much interest at all for the grand plan of conquering the battlefield. Okay, so I'm dividing my different legion against different targets. And now let's fight through all those spearmen, which should not be much of an issue for my legionnaires. While here with my remaining cavalry, assuming I'm able to select it, I will attempt to charge in the back of the enemy here. Well, here I'll do this like that. Moving around. I'm pulling out a big flanking maneuver. While here my cavalry has been stopped by a few remaining crew for those big ballista. No, being charged in the back by Praetorian must hurt. So I'm flanking now. Hurry up. I have my velites which are suppressing the enemy general, as well as my cavalry charge in the back of the enemy general. Hopefully that should be enough to rout him. But his army don't seem in great shape at the moment, so I think I'm winning this pretty easily. And the important part is to get rid of those ballista, which are quite a pain. Because they will kill a lot of your troops in all impunity. So hopefully now they're gone. So that was a pretty good battle in my favor. And I'm not sure if I did perform too well. I guess the loss of my cavalry is a little upsetting. Because I did not expect those ballista to be that accurate on a formation which was so spread out. Okay, now my general did rank up. Now sadly I do not have the range necessary to go attack these enemies again.
Ready for orders.
For this turn. Okay, while here, I guess I will do this battle. And that will be the next episode actually, so I'll see you there.